Hey guys,
Happy Saturday and welcome back to
Latte and Foam.
Today is going to be the long-awaited return of
Boy Rank.
The first Voltage game that is going to be up on the chopping block for the return of the series is Kissed by the Baddest Bidder. You guys have been begging me to play this game for a long time, and now both of us, now that we do it together.
So we've been really resistant to play the game. Obviously there's other flops out there, but like the premise how we thought and like the auction thing, we're like...
I mean, you get sold. If you know nothing about this game, we can just set it up. Basically, you're working as a maid at this... Is it the first hotel to have gambling in Japan?
Yeah, because if you don't know, gambling in Japan is illegal, so...
Although they kind of get around that with pachinko, but anyways.
You're a maid there, it's like you're working there and then you break something really, really valuable where you're in an area that you're not supposed to be in. Then in order to basically make up for the broken item that can't be sold, you get sold.
You get taken to like this underground room and you meet all of the owners of this auction, and then you're the first time that humans ever auctioned off, and those guys that you had met that run it end up buying you to avoid any like strife, I'm guessing. And then you get to choose which one is your primary owner.
Basically.
Which that makes no sense. I feel like they would decide that amongst themselves.
So we were like, it's a no, we're not playing that game, but then we decided...
And none of the guys really like sparked our interest, but...
Yeah, so what we decided to do, I know we said we were going to do all 8, but then we felt, once we were going through, we realized that only 6 guys are part of the first season main story.
Yeah, the other guys that were in the little rotation were actually from season 2.
Yeah.
So we're not going to play those. I mean, unless you want us to do season 2, let us know, but...
Request below and we can do those guys and rank those ones, but we're going to do 6-guy ranking for first season. And all of that. And
yeah, we're gonna start with probably the lowest ranked, right?
Yeah, we're gonna go 6 down to number 1. And then how we decided to rank these, it killed it.
Okay, so we picked a bunch of categories and we're gonna have them out of 10. I believe the total, like a perfect 100% A plus would be 60 out of 60. Mm-hmm. And so the categories are the guy's personality.
Yes.
Like, try to do this. Let me just look at
guy's personality, romance, plot.
Guy's character development,
the MC overall, and then
the quality of writing.
So yeah, so we're gonna rank each of those, we'll talk about them, and then you can give us your honest opinion, or if you disagree, down in the comments below.
Yeah, so I feel like you guys are gonna be surprised by our ranking, because a lot of people have a certain guy that's number 1, and then ours is different.
Ours is like not what you're gonna expect. So.
But all of the guys overall, it's Ota, Mamo, there's the Mad Hatter, Eisuke, and Soryu, and then and Baba.
Yeah, it's like there's always one guy we forget somehow. I don't know how.
Honestly, Baba was the one I was least excited to play because of his hat.
Yeah.
I just don't like guys in fedoras.
The fedora is just not. This isn't 2002 anymore. It's like, get over it.
Yeah, but his route actually wasn't bad, but he wasn't the worst on the list.
All right.
The worst is actually somebody we had no idea would be worse because we thought he was the most attractive.
Yeah.
So the guy who ranked 6th was...
Ota, and I can't remember his last name, but Ota's number 6.
Kisaki.
Yeah, Ota Kisaki, and he's the angelic artist. Mm-hmm. So basically how he fits in, and personally I think he fits in as Baba's friend, but he and Baba met in New York, he brings back to Japan, and Ota's this angelic artist. He's really, really famous in the art world, and he can basically spot fake art or fake anything.
Counterfeit pieces.
Yeah, counterfeit pieces.
Statues, whatever.
For the guys. And then so basically, and he's mega rich, that's why he's one of the managers, and then that's basically his role in the auction. Personally, I don't think that it's like that big of a deal. He's not like a bad guy or anything. So then, yeah, that's how it happened. So
yeah, and I guess his archetype would be kind of like the mean one. I don't know. It doesn't really fit as Tsundere. I feel like that's Eisuke. But he's kind of like, in other routes, he's portrayed as really like flirty, but you can't he's kind of mysterious in a way as well.
He is, I'll give you that. And then basically so we'll start with plot first. So how all of this goes down is that he buys you, you're staying at his like penthouse suite thing. And essentially,
which, by the way, I hate his penthouse suite. It's him and Baba have the same one,
Yeah.
and it's like there's 2 beds, and it doesn't even look like a penthouse suite. I'm like, and the bathroom's bigger than the room.
Yeah, it's
I
crazy.
just can't.
So, he treats you as like his literal dog. So he calls you. You can only go by Kudo. You cannot go by your name.
Yeah, so he had a dog that he really loved. Was it Kodo or
Yeah.
Kudo?
Kudo.
Kudo. He had a dog named Kudo, and he decides that you're kind of like that since he's your owner now, and then he makes you a little collar, which is really a necklace to give to you. And I feel like they tried to make that was like the whole thing for romance, was basically this weird romance of like pet and owner. It was kind of creepy, to be honest, and it really turned us off, and that really contributed to him ranking 6.
Yeah, and so yeah, because like you have to give him your paw and stuff, and I know people will be like, but that's kind of like the plot of like Black Prince and Wolf Girl, but like it's more like
It's
he
a
takes
lot
it to the
worse.
max. Like you really can't go out anywhere. He doesn't
Because you
acknowledge
live
you
with
as a
this
human.
guy, that's the difference.
He doesn't acknowledge you as a human, and the plot is kind of predictable. So what happens is like he's an artist and everything, but he's not painting art anymore, so he just doesn't do it. And so then
Yeah, he hasn't come out with an original work in 5 years, which is a long time.
Yeah. And then finally, after spending a couple days together, he goes to his art studio. And then you go out with him, and he finally gives you permission to go out with him. And because that's how he kind of gets away with things, is that you guys are friends and he's always with you, so you can't leave.
Yeah.
And so you guys are going out, and then he says some like really shady comments, like you're talking about his art exhibit that's supposed to be happening, and you're like, yeah, I wanted to see that. And he's like, if you were a real fan, you would have seen it. And it's like, okay, she's not a real fan.
His personality is extremely weird, because he'll seem like he's really nice, and then he'll just randomly be super rude. Like, I feel like his true personality is that he's an asshole. Like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because think about it. He only is nice to, like, everybody else, but he's, like, it's
Yes.
easier to get through being nice rather than, like, show your true personality, because then people don't like you.
Yeah, so the MC notices that right away. She's like, oh, he's going into angelic artist mode anytime he runs into somebody.
We're not going to fully spoil it, but he runs into another artist, and when I say the storyline's predictable, they are talking about something that's going to come up, and what the artist does to him, you totally can see from a mile away.
You can see it coming. The second that happened, I knew that was going to be the plot, and I could tell the ending from the end. So that's why we have a lot of problems with the plot. I feel like having an artist, they could have gone so many other places. He could have agreed to show her his museum and walk her through it, and they could kind of like connect, and she could kind of see what pieces he makes and like learn more about him, because we really don't know a whole lot about what he likes or anything like that.
There's a lot of misses with the romance on this. Like, a lot of the cute moments they skip, or they like just botch it up, and you're just like, they could have gone together on a date together.
He could have found like from the moment he saw her, maybe she was his muse. Like, maybe he could have made a sculpture of her or something. That would have been romantic.
And they make it seem like she's the muse, but they don't explain exactly how that worked out, and then what ends up happening to him triumphing.
She does end up being his muse in a way, but not directly. He does not draw her. So that's kind of a missed opportunity. I think that could have been like, I mean, they could have even gotten saucy and had him do like a nude sculpture of her, but they didn't do any of that. It was, and you don't even see him that much in the beginning, or like towards the middle. There's like a
lot of patches where you just see everybody else. And then like another thing that definitely happens is that like he ends up, when in trying to protect you for no reason, when some scandal happens, he just basically is like, you don't have to come here anymore, we don't have to see each other, and then nobody knows where he's at, and you're just like, okay.
Yeah, his stuff is definitely the least climactic of all the other plots. A lot of the plots are very action-based, kind of like some kind of crime involved, which I guess this technically does in a way, but to a much lower degree. And like at the end, there's really nothing redeeming about him, in my opinion.
I don't think that his route honestly needed to belong in the Baddest Bidder world. If you took Ota's route completely out, you wouldn't miss his character. And when you see him in other,
contribute to the group very much.
Yeah, when you see him in other storylines, it's like he only plays a part of being Baba's sidekick, and that's really it.
Yeah, but obviously this was a hit game, and they wanted to have a good selection of characters, so I don't think it's bad that they put him in. I think he works, but I'm just saying he's not as essential to the overarching plot as the other characters.
He is super unredeemable though, because there is one key point that he cannot come back from, and unfortunately we're gonna have to spoil this part.
Yeah, this is around chapter 7, chapter 8 for reference.
Which makes him number 6, and he'll never rank anywhere above. Even if we added the other guys, he will always be last. Ota definitely rapes the MC.
Yes, there's no question about it. He 100% rapes her.
She says she doesn't want to do it. She says no. This isn't what she wants.
She says no, I can't do this. Can I please get up? Can I go? And he just does it anyways. And they say he aggressively forces me
And then I feel like this is a flop on Voltage's end because they make it seem as though she like doesn't regret it. Like the next morning she should have got up and ran away. She's just like, we spent the night together. Like, no, you didn't. You got raped.
And because she got raped, that's kind of why she falls in love with him. So it's kind of like a sick, you called it Stockholm syndrome, kind of like romance. And what pisses us off about this is because this isn't like true events. This isn't a real person. They didn't need to make him rape her. They could have had her want it. They could have had her like be like, I pulled him down to let him know I wanted more. Like, they could have made it clear that it was consensual, but they chose to make it rape, and I don't understand why.
Yeah, and the next day he goes back to making you his dog, and it just makes it even weirder. So it really turns me off from the story altogether. I would never play it twice.
As soon as that happened, like, I mean, I already wasn't too, like, keen on him the whole time before that, but as soon as that happened, I was just like, okay, can I get through this route? Like, I'm not having fun.
Yeah, I played it first, and I didn't tell her, and then, like, as soon as she said it, she was like, did this happen? I'm like, I know I'm not crazy now. Like, I didn't, that was so what I felt. And I'm like, she didn't want it. And that just makes me feel very cringy. It gave me Miyabi vibes from Enchanted in the Moonlight.
Yeah, only that happens earlier, so you can decide to stop playing. But this is, like, so far in that it's just, like, it's unsettling. The whole route is unsettling. And through to the very end, I can't understand Ota's personality at all. Yeah. And should we touch on the MC a little bit? Because that is one of our categories. I mean, she's all right in this one, but she definitely accepts things that she shouldn't.
She definitely takes on the full role of being a dog and never stands up for herself.
I feel bad for her. I guess that's why I say she's all right. It's because I feel bad for her. But genuinely, she's not.
She's a not redeemable person either. And it makes me like, I would never recommend that route to anybody. And I feel like her being cool with being a dog is such extreme Stockholm syndrome. And I think the whole game kind of is like a set, like a.
But the MC is written different in every single round. Yeah. I just want to point that out. That's why we had that as a category, because you're probably thinking, well, the MC's the same the whole game. Wouldn't she get the same rank? No, she acts completely different and responds different in every single round.
In this one, it's just scary. Where you're just
she doesn't respond in this one. She like takes everything.
You want to hug her and go to the cops. And the other thing is there's a cop there and the cop won't help her. So it's like...
No, because he's a horrible cop.
Yeah. So, okay. So we are going to break down the points that we gave Ota and basically how he ranked.
Yes. So everything's out of 10, like I said before. So the first is the guy's personality. We gave him a 3 out of 10, which is honestly being generous.
Very generous. The rape thing literally should have gave him a 0.
The romance, I feel like now looking at this, we should have ranked him lower as well, but we gave him a 4.5 out of 10. Mostly because there are some romantic moments, like when he's blow drying her hair in the beginning. I thought that was pretty romantic. When he makes her that special stone necklace, that was pretty romantic.
Yeah, he does go defend her honor when they like try to write about her, and so he's like, I don't want you to hurt her. And so that's the only reason why we try to be as unbiased. Like if we took that part out and took out the chapter 7 scenario happening, the 4.5 would have still stood, just because it's like that's what it is.
In every single route, there's a period of time where they're not together, and then usually the MC is the one that has to make an effort to basically get him back. He actually reaches out to her. Yeah. So I thought that was kind of nice. And that's a problem we're going to touch on at the end when we're talking about the game as a whole. It's very, very formulaic. Every single route follows a pattern, and we'll touch on that at the end. But yeah, so 4.5 for romance, and then for plot, we gave it a 2 out of 10 because it was so freaking predictable and basically not entertaining at all. For guy's character development, we give it a 3.
Yeah, we give it a 3 out of 10. Again,
he's the same the whole time.
He's the same the whole time, and then the rape, and so it's like, like you just can't. We couldn't get past that.
Yeah, and then the MC we give a 2. We were a little rough on her, but I mean, she accepts so much. It's hard. She doesn't stand up for herself at all.
I wish she would have just definitely run out of there. I wish that she just would have been a little bit more forceful about things. Like, hey, I don't want, like, she knew so much information. Oh yeah, she like botches it up when she goes to the reporter and like is like, hey, don't do this. Like, girl, they told you not to talk to anybody and you did it anyway. And so she just bothers me throughout for other things she does too.
Yeah, I just don't get her motives, to be honest. And like even how she acts at work is really irritating. And then quality of writing. So basically if there's any errors or plot holes and stuff like that, and just kind of ties in with plot a little bit too, we gave it a 4 out of 10.
Yeah.
I mean, the writing wasn't impressive in any way. There was not really any cool sentence structures or anything, but it was just basic. Okay, so overall, when you add all of that up, he gets a whopping 18.5 out of 60.
So he ranks as an F-.
Yeah, F-, 31%.
Yeah.
the worst character in this game.
Just not. All right, so number 5 on our ranking is Mamo. Oh, sorry, Mamo. We just called him Mamo. So.
Yeah, we call him Mamo. We'll just keep calling it that. And I know it's Mamo, but...
Mamo. Oh, yeah.
I'm going to say Mamo, because it's just...
Cool little story about Kayla and I. So if you've ever seen Brothers Conflict, there's this character Masayomi. Oh, and we called him Mamo, because he just has
He looks like a Mamoru with his little... He looks like a walrus to me. Anyways, and that's actually not a diss. I think he's cute.
So adorable. But yeah, I think it's Mamoru Kishi.
Honestly, I don't know. I get confused with his last name and Ota's.
Yeah, so Mamo is the cop.
Yes, so he is a pretty high-level cop or detective, and I mean, he's basically, I don't want to give away the plot, but he's involved for his own reasons, but I think for them, they like having a detective there with them, it's kind of like they infiltrated, so they can't really get in trouble because he can protect them or deflect away if the cops ever came towards the auction.
Here's what I'll say. Is that Mamo in everybody else's route, and then for his own route, they're just different. So he is on their side and an ally the entire time he's in everybody else's route, but in his own, he has his own vendetta. So he's in this, he's looking for information about something that happened to his partner in the past, and he wants to basically solve a case. And so he's willing to go to great lengths and uses the MC to infiltrate something else to get further information. And honestly, I will definitely say if you play his route, his is the most action-filled and very much my favorite plot.
Yes. So if you weren't looking for any kind of romance, and let's say you're just a straight male and you picked up this game, I think you would enjoy his route the most. 100%. Because of the action, you don't see things coming. It's actually really entertaining. I played through his pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's you don't know what's going to exactly happen. It's kind of it was so not what I was expecting, the group that they infiltrate was going to happen, and it's so...
It kind of felt like a movie, too, you were off-site, you were away from the hotel, it just felt... Yeah. It felt different, which was refreshing considering the formulaic nature of this game.
Yeah, and then he comes in and breaks in after you, and you guys basically are now stuck together. The problem is there's literally zero romance. I don't understand why the MC likes him. And they don't really try. It's more of a matter of convenience. Because they were together, that's why they like each other. But
you could probably say that for any of these. It's almost I don't know, there's nothing special about her in a lot of these. It just so happens that she was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
But I think for this one, it's literally because they had to share a room, a very small room together because of where they were at.
You could have them also never fall in love and it wouldn't be weird.
Yeah, it would...
He never fell in love with her, I'll tell you that right now. He doesn't love her.
It's so random that he, likes her at all, because it's
I just don't believe that he does. Even though he said he did or whatever in the end, because that's how this game have to go.
I was just well, why?
I just don't believe it.
She, gets jealous of somebody that doesn't exist anymore, and it's but why? There's no need. And, there's a point where he goes and saves the MC. Here's what I will say. I do like the MC a lot better in this one because she's definitely she has a smart mouth with him, and she's just no, I'm not going to do that. And she does fight back. She fights back one of the bad guys pretty tough.
Yeah, and she gets passionate about it. Yeah, I would say that about this route and Soriyu's route. She actually gets involved, and I feel that makes her a stronger MC.
Yeah, because when she saves Mamo's back, and he's well, why would you do that? And she's because you were in trouble. I would not leave you just to whatever.
Yeah, she has a good moral compass.
And I mean, he does too, kind of, because he's you know what? Here's the most interesting part is that he and the guys kind of get into it, and he basically puts his cards on the table, and he's the only thing I don't like is how they resolved it. They're sure, you were gonna betray me and then send me to jail, but that's fine. You know what? We've all made mistakes. You can stay in the group. And that's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not perfect, as you'll see with much of this game. It's not perfect for us, but...
Another thing I don't really like about the MC is they basically played her to be a maid in even that route. Remember how she's God, my cleaning senses are tingling, and she cleans up his apartment?
Yeah, I mean, there's no shade to anybody that works in that industry, but I just feel
it didn't make sense for her to do that. Like, it was random. Like
she's like, I don't know. I guess she was at least more passionate about it in that route.
It was a bad plot point. It was like so random. She was like, I'm gonna clean up his apartment while we just sit here. It's like, okay.
In none of the other routes, she doesn't seem as passionate about cleaning as she does in this one, I'll say. But
I can give her credit though. It's like, what are you gonna be passionate about? Somebody bought you for $20 million. I'm like, girl, I'd be like, what do you want me to do?
Please give me some video games.
But yeah, so there was absolutely no romance to me in this one, so that's why
his personality, what do you think about that?
It's so coppish. Like, it's just like,
it's better than Ota, obviously, but
it'll always be like,
he's just super lazy and like,
it's not a good cop, to be honest. He used you. He paid $20 million for you to infiltrate a group that you infiltrated almost instantly. Oh wait, that's not what happened. He said that he was going to return you.
Yeah.
And that's it. So not only did he not even fully spend the $20 million, he lets you go to a bad cult of a group.
Yeah, because how would he even have 20 mil?
Yeah, as a cop. Ooh, honestly, if I was the police commissioner, I'd been like, where you got $20 million from? They never really explain that. We'll get to that later with like between the prologue and all the plots, how many plot holes there are.
There are so many plot holes.
But I would assume they just borrow from each other. Like, they're just fine with that. Like, Eisuke's
honestly a really nice person. And I feel like he funds a lot of people's lifestyles. But I feel like that's good for...
Including yours when you think about it. And like, low
yeah, but what's her lifestyle though? She's not buying Gucci.
He technically is like the CEO for the company you work for, so his checks.
Yeah, oh, true. I didn't think of it like that. But anyways, I guess we'll just go ahead and get to his points.
Yeah.
So his personality is a 5 out of 10 for us. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad.
It was a meh.
It was meh. The romance was 2 out of 10.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, that's generous.
It was so forced.
Kind of a 0.
It was so forced.
Plot was a 9 out of 10 because it wasn't 100% perfect, but it was quite good.
I loved the plot, to be fair. I loved from beginning to end, even though there's no like a romance, and I know that's the point of playing that game. Like, I would play it again because I'm like, that's a really good storyline. Like, that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was a great storyline. Whoever wrote that, good job. And then his character development, we did a 6 because he does develop a bit, but not enough to really come full circle. Like, I don't know.
He has growth and understanding towards the end, but it's just like, I mean, I guess when you find out the truth, everybody would. So it's like, eh.
He doesn't change, though, the fact that he's like just a lazy cop.
No.
And he doesn't like really care for the MC that much more.
No.
And the MC in this one got a pretty good rank. She got a 7 out of 10 just because of her fight back and all of that. I love that about her. And then the quality of writing was pretty good. It was definitely improved from Ota's, and we gave that a 7 out of 10. So when you add that together, he gets a 36 out of 60. It seems like so low, which is a D- or a 60%.
Okay.
So
I know you think we're being harsh, but I'm serious. Like, we like go minutia in this, like because if we played this like just regular playing, first of all, we'd never get this video done because it's just so much.
I wouldn't even finish it. If it weren't for this video, I would not have finished this game because it wasn't that much fun to me, to be honest. Like, it gets old because of the formula. It's like, okay, I get it. Like, that was fun the first time, but I don't really want to keep playing
them just like so much in a row. Like, we won't find that. But okay, so our number 4 guy is Babu Matsunari.
Yes, Baba. Oh, Baba.
He also goes by in a lot of anime does this, and other games. So if you've ever played Code Realize 2, Arsène Lupin. And, okay, so I always plug Persona 5 because I play it too often. Joker's main personas is Arsène Lupin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Joker, the thief, or whatever. So that's, what Baba is. So, if you don't know, because by the Baddest Bidder, the auctions really are servicing around Baba being a thief and bringing it to Eisuke to sell at the black auctions.
Yeah, which there's a little bit of plot holes with that towards the end now that we're saying this out loud. But yeah, he's actually one of the primary characters when it comes to the main overarching plot because he's stealing all of these goods that end up at the auction. I mean, obviously there's other ways they get some, like through Soryu and whatnot, but he is very involved. And he's a master of disguise, so that's kind of cool about him. And like that plays into his plot a lot, although they're kind of lazy when it comes to his disguise. Like there's this one part where he is supposed to dress up like Mamo, and so Voltage just puts in Sprite. Like, sure, you got facial reconstruction surgery, but
not to like spill tea, but like somebody does that in Eisuke's like down the line route where somebody makes himself look like Eisuke, and it bothers me so much. I played it.
They literally did that again.
They do it where it's just Eisuke, and like at 2 points of the time they're both on the screen. It's like it's literally just Eisuke's sprite twice, but whatever.
Lazy.
Play it, find out, you'll see. Yeah, so basically Baba, and here's what I'll say. Baba's a genuinely good person. Amongst other than him and like Soryu and Eisuke are genuinely good people.
Yeah.
Mamo's not a bad person. Like, Soryu's job is not a good person. And, like, Eisuke has bad person moments. But I'm saying, like, to the core, they're genuinely
I think Eisuke and Baba are the best people. I think Eisuke's the best. And then Baba's, like, second when it comes to the actual good person meter.
I think Soryu's a really good person.
I think you like Soryu, but he does kill people. Constantly. Innocent people.
I mean, he's in the mafia. Like, it's like he doesn't have a choice, okay? But anyway, so... Baba's plot basically is that, so he's not mean to you either. He's just like, you can't leave because, you know, I spend all this money. He's a womanizer.
A big part of it is that he's a womanizer, and he's definitely all over a lot of other women, which that's never been attractive to me. So off the bat, I just wasn't attracted to him at all, his personality.
I think it's the fedora though. We really just didn't like him. Like we didn't
when
even
he takes it off, it helps. When he dressed up as a butler, that was cute. That was the cutest part.
It was like a thing for butlers.
That's it.
So, but basically what's happening is that you're just like helping him. Oh yeah, that was how you're gonna get out of the contract. Is he's like, if you help me steal something, I'll let you out.
Which honestly, plot hole, she doesn't help at all. She makes it harder for him to steal things. Like it's not like she ever helps him infiltrate. They could have made it a lot stronger if they needed a woman for something, and so he basically needed her to like help. But there's never a need.
They basically include her so that once she knows, she's also gonna get in trouble. Like that's really what they say. Like, I'm including you now because now you already know and I can't have you snitching, and now you're in part of the
it's kind of like he's forced to, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's like, just let her go then. Like, I don't know. It just...
And then they get basically cuffed together, and so they can't be too far apart.
That was kind of a cute plot point.
That's a cute plot point because it helps them learn about each other, because he's super open to talk to her about things, and then he takes her to places, to other womanizing places where she has to watch and be a womanizer. It's insane.
Yeah, that's not really that fun.
But they do end up really liking each other, and he becomes really sweet, so he stops going to see a bunch of women, and they get to do all of these things, and he's not like a pervert like... And like even though he does pervy things in that one too. They share a room, by the way. Baba and Ota share a room. And
yeah, I don't like that part of it. I feel like they should have each had their own suite, but whatever.
And then Baba realizes that he's taking her too deep and tries to cut her off from it. Like, I don't want you to get involved. But his overall reason why he's really trying to do and get to is a really good reason. He's trying to save other people through something back end.
But his reasoning that he is a womanizer is weak. It's so weak. Like, I can't even...
It's lame as hell.
And they just, like, tacked it on. They're like, oh, we need a reason that he's, like, such a flirt.
It's trash reason. So
it's horrible.
He robbed a girl, and then they fell in love. First of all, if you robbed me, what would we have to talk about other than jail? You're going to jail!
Period.
Electric chair.
But literally, it's like, they don't go into that. Like, you may just think, okay, we're just telling you the reason, but that's as much as it gets. It gets like a sentence.
Yeah, he never
it's very
talks about
thrown
it.
together.
At least on the main
also,
story.
he works at like a mini mart in the hotel, and that's just like half a chapter. They talk about that. Like, there's a lot of really rushed plot points. So there's that. I feel like the last couple of chapters are intriguing. There's some good action.
Yeah, there's some good action, but they do rush some things. So like, there's a cop.
Lot of rush.
There's a cop that's like looking for Baba, but
I kind of like him. Iisuke. He's like a dumb cop. It's funny.
He like when Baba cuts you off, because this is the formula. They cut you off. They just like gotta
Every
go.
single time. There's like a little party because you did something right, and then he's just like, I gotta go.
Get out. And then like it's like basically what it is like take the pager.
And then she is sad, and then that's how she realizes she's in love with every single guy. I'm sad because he's not around.
Yeah. So basically the cop, for no reason at all, divulges very private cop information to you about where Baba would possibly be. And it's like...
Yeah, but he is a dumb cop, so like...
But it's like, he's a dumb cop, but not that dumb.
Well, okay, well you could argue then that he tells her because he wants to go catch Lupin, and that way like he can follow her there.
Maybe.
I
mean, I can agree. I could say that might be it, but
I kind of liked
honestly,
that whole bar scene, to be honest.
The bar scene was like good. I'm just saying like that's what I got vibes from. It's like, so you told her that he would possibly strike again because you wanted to do that for what? Like you're.
It was just everything's a plot device.
Because Mama was there too, and he even was like, that's enough.
And he's like, why don't you shut up? That's pretty much Baba.
The MC really doesn't do. She doesn't like
She doesn't impress me in this one. I'm unimpressed.
You know what she gives me? She gives me damsel in distress vibes. So if any of y'all have seen Bleach, she's literally Otahime. She gets kidnapped or taken constantly.
Oh yeah, that's the worst part about her. Okay, so when he tells her that information, ISA, she shows up on the scene where he's gonna strike again. The second she shows up, done. So for his personality, we gave him a 6 out of 10 just because he's extremely flirty. But when it comes to his caring side, I really like that about him.
The Fedora also knocked it off a point. It's like, oh,
she's like, we're being fair. If we were being like biased, we could have rated these so much worse. Romance 7 out of 10. I
really did believe the romance.
I felt the romance. Them. Yeah, actually, it was probably my favorite. It was like a highlight of it. Was their romance. I like when they were in the shower and he like waited. I don't know. It was just cute.
She made it weird.
Ota would have just came in and like,
hello. And
then the plot, we gave it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
It was okay, but lots of loopholes.
Yeah.
Guy's character development would give a 5 because he's pretty much the same guy throughout, and like.
But there was also moments where he did change from being a womanizer. There's one particular line that I have as my favorite because he was like, I wasn't with any woman. I haven't laid with any woman since we slept together in front of everybody. And she was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, I haven't. I just go to their houses at night and do nothing. And it's like everyone was like, right.
I don't like that about him though. Like that would piss me off.
It was a funny line.
I just feel like the second that they were broken up or whatever, and they were in their little fight, like he's with the women again.
I will say though, there's a point where where he kisses her hard and she's angry and she just is like, don't touch me.
That was a good point for her.
The hell and then she was out of him. And he says sorry, and he's just like, we need time apart. And so, that to me is, a realistic thing that would happen. When you're mad at the person you're in love with and stuff. And
his route felt realistic when it came to their romance, for sure.
But if we're together and if I'm leaving and you don't pretend to come get me, I'm going to be mad.
Okay, so then he's a 5 out of 10 for character development. And then her, we give her a 6 out of 10, which I think is fair. Because she is irritating with her damsel in distress act, but she has some redeeming qualities. And then for the quality of writing, we gave it a 6.5 out of 10. So that brings him to just 0.5 points above Mamo. He's 36.5 out of 60, giving a 61%.
He got a D-.
He also got a D-.
But that now brings us to our number 3.
Oh my gosh.
And numero 3
is your number 1. Go ahead and introduce him.
He's not my number 2, babe, because of who's number 1. But he is so amazing, and it's Soryu.
Yes.
His name is so hard to say. All of his minions have such difficult
all the names in this entire game give me anxiety.
Okay, I just want y'all to know. For no other reason, so Kayla and I both have studied Japanese, so we definitely should know how Eisuke is pronounced, but we, for
that's very clearly just Eisuke.
Read it in our mind Yusuke.
Yusuke. That was over the Y if it was Yusuke, but I don't know. And then Soryu, we wanted to just call him Shoryu. So bad. There was never an H, but anyways.
So I love him. He is such a sweetheart teddy bear guy. So he's so cold though at first, and y'all know me, that's my thing. But
and just before you continue, I just want to let you guys know, every guy from this point on, we would recommend you play.
Yes, would definitely recommend. I'll play it again and again. So Soryu is part of the Hong Kong syndicate called the Ice Dragons.
I love that name, by the way.
Yeah, he's a mini boss right now. He's not the full boss when you first start the game. His point of being in this auction is to raise enough money, which is kind of a plot hole because at a point you should think you'd raise enough money if you had $20 million, but whatever.
But I just feel like he wants money in general.
Yeah. So he wants to overthrow the boss because they don't agree. He feels like the current boss is too violent and too just not thinking of the betterment of the Ice Dragons. So anyway, you're with him, and then
him and Eisuke are bros.
They're besties, dude. They're besties.
They're cute.
They're adorbs. So you're with him, and he's not completely mean, but he does threaten your life. He's you leave and you die, and you're okay, but he lets you go to work and stuff. And so then
which they all do, which is kind of annoying, but anyways,
Eisuke's the most annoying for doing it. It just bothers me for why what you have to do with Eisuke. But anyway, so he basically is don't leave, and then he has somebody coming in that he's gonna play basically matchmaker for their parents or for their dad, because he's trying to make an alliance with them.
Yeah, so it's a daughter of another mob boss in Hong Kong comes, and what's her name? Is it
Mei Ling? So she doesn't want to do this, and Soryu is really trying to help her best interest, which is what makes me like him so much. So you are gonna play so that nobody goes off the deep end and tries to hurt her. So you're gonna basically be her sub-in. but Soryu never lets you be alone with these people. Like, he's like basically vetting the hell out of them, and so you guys are always constantly together, and you start learning his little habits, like things that he doesn't like and stuff, so it helps them grow really close, and he really appreciates that about you.
Kind of learn about like how he grew up, especially through Mei Ling's perspective, since she also is a child of a mob boss, and then also just from watching him interact and certain comments that he makes when you ask him questions.
Yeah, like the kind of foods he likes and stuff, and like he really does trust you to be around all of this. And I really love the MC in this because she's so like about helping Mei Ling. Like, they just met and she's like, I'm gonna help you out, let's be friends. She's willing to go for a bait, and like Soryu never lets anything bad happen to you. He's like, skirt.
And MC really cares about Soryu. Like, I feel like she just instantly sees how much he cares for Mei Ling and his underlings and stuff, and then she instantly gravitates towards him.
Yeah, and so then basically everything is going well, and then you like get kidnapped and stuff, and Soryu comes through. Like, you just have this like bond with each other at this point, and he like saves your life, and he's like, I'll never let you go in danger again. And like,
is that like in the rain scene?
Yeah, there's this whole thing.
I love that,
because you go looking for him, and he's just like, why'd you come for me, and like whatever, because he knows that you guys can't get too close, so he's trying his hardest. But
and a lot of the plots that come up towards the end, we won't go into too much detail, but I really didn't see them coming. Like, I felt like it was really well done. I felt like the writing style was improved from other routes.
And he's sweet the whole time, even though he doesn't particularly like women, because that's like an easy complex to have. He's very not like, he shares very intimate parts with her that he's never even shared with his own like gang. So it's really, really cute to see as they develop a relationship, and then they end up together, and he's like so in love with her. It's cute. Like, it's
adorable. Their relationship is so cute, and I feel like it just feels kind of unique, and it's like has to be hard all day long, and so for him to just be able to like come and be soft with her, it's just so cute.
And they kind of have like an innocence with him, because he's obviously not been in that many relationships.
No,
so
of course not. Yeah,
so cute, where he's,
so
just like nervous and like blushy,
but yet he's still like super manly. He has like the perfect mix.
He's definitely alpha when he needs to be, and like soft when he doesn't. But there's this, his character design is so cute. Oh my god.
That's like her type to a T. Like, so I already knew she was gonna love this route, and I went in with a super critical eye, because I'm like, she's gonna be so lenient just because she likes the way he looks and his personality so much. But I loved it. That's not even my normal type, and I thought it was a great route.
He does this one thing where like they like hit on her, and he like pulls out his gun, and he's like, watch it. It's the funniest
I know,
thing.
I love when the other guys hit on her, and he's just like, what'd you say?
Yeah. But yeah, so I love Soryu's route. I would totally recommend all of his like side stories. He's like totally good route.
His does follow the normal formula of everything, but it's still extremely entertaining. It works.
It fits, definitely.
So we broke down his points as so. For his personality, we give it a 7.5 out of 10. The reason we didn't give it higher was because the fact that he is a mob boss, right? And he just constantly says these little things like, what is really good and bad and stuff. Yeah. And like, it just kind of unclear. Like, I don't know.
We're like, no, pretty sure murder's bad all the time.
Yeah, like murder's just bad. So that's why he didn't rank higher, but he is a good person, of course. The romance, we gave a 9 out of 10 because it was very, very well done. That's the highest romance rank we've had so far. For the plot, we gave it an 8.5 out of 10. Yeah,
I also love how he treats his like underlings. So like there's Sami Meija, but I don't think we meet in the first one, but Inui. I thought Inui was a driver, remember? In the Nether route, I'm like, I thought that was his driver, but Inui looks at Soryu like a big brother, and he treats him with respect and as equal, not as just some underling, even though Inui is below him. I love that about him.
Yeah, and I like the fact that the first part of his name means dog, because he's an underling. So yeah, his character development, we give it a 6.5 out of 10, because once again, he doesn't really improve like from meeting MC at all.
He just opens up and stuff, but he's never, his personality is consistent, I'll say that.
And then for the MC, we ranked her pretty high. We give her an 8.5 out of 10 because she's really strong and badass in this route.
She's so badass. She like takes on people and like takes some people down too.
Yeah.
She's like down to go. And then she goes to a different country for her mans.
Yeah. And I do want to preface, like, we don't only rank MCs high if they're sassy or badass. It's just that was something that was good about her. It can be done wrong. They did it the right way. I think there can be quiet, more calm, cool, and collected MCs, and that rank really high for us. And we are going to have a video coming soon of our top 10 best MCs, so you can see what we mean. But I just want to throw that out there because I do feel like there are some people who play Voltage that only like sassy MCs.
Yeah, she's just a genuinely good person, though. Like,
yeah,
she does something for a complete stranger that she didn't have to do to protect them and their needs and wants before her own. She was willing to put herself on the line to save everybody else.
Yeah, and she seems to have passions for, like, humanity and everything, and I really liked her.
Yeah.
And then the quality of writing, we gave a 7 out of 10. It was good, not amazing, but it was better than normal.
Yeah.
So that gave him a 47 out of 60, which is a C+. Almost a B, not quite, but
super close.
Super close. I mean, it was a really good route. It was formulaic at times. There were some things that didn't make sense, but overall, pretty good. So then we have
the
number 2.
And I'm pretty sure no one's expecting this, but number 2 is
Eisuke. I know a lot of people thought that he was going to be number 1, and he was really close, but...
He usually ranks number 1, 2, and when Voltage 3, or like Love 365 does those campaigns.
Those votes, he always is like number 1.
And like not by like a small amount, like by a landslide.
I think it's because a lot of people that play this game, I feel like a casual player usually just picks one guy. They just pick him, so a lot of people have played him.
Yeah, because this is free.
Mm-hmm.
But so I'll let you talk about Eisuke.
Eisuke's my man. Eisuke, I love him so much. He's the only one that I've gone on to play lots of sub stories for and everything. I just love his personality. The only thing though is that, and the reason he doesn't rank number 1 is because I don't think they really let his personality shine enough in his own main story. Like, it shines in other stories, which we'll get to. But I could see his personality enough that I did fall in love with him. I really, really liked the romance in this one. And he's pretty much the top dog of this whole thing, of the auctions. He's the owner of the hotel, which that's kind of a plot hole, because in the beginning of the prologue, doesn't she know he's the owner and then she acts surprised in his route?
No, it's the way that they say it. So they're like, he's
the head of the Ichinomiya group.
Yeah, they're like, the Ichinomiya group owns the hotel. So the fact that she doesn't put 2 and 2 together, that obviously he owns the hotel.
I assumed he owned it as soon as they said that, but then when...
well, there's no other... What else would it have been? Like, what?
Like,
that sounds super
He's an
dumb.
accountant for the Ichinomiya group.
That's like being like me and Kayla work for Kayla and Kiana Productions. God, I wonder if they're the owners. Like, I would hope so.
Yeah, that's kind of like annoying. But anyways, so... It makes the most sense that he would buy her collectively, right? Like, because he's the owner and it's his auction. So if he sees a person up there, he's like, let me snatch that.
I'm sorry, not to like side break it, but like if you base the MC like just off the prologue, she's like one of the worst MCs in prologue MC ever.
Yeah, in this prologue for sure, she is.
But anyway, so continue about Eisuke.
Anyways, so he buys you, and the main thing that he uses you for, there's a certain guy who has a daughter that's in love with him. I've seen this plot point before. I saw it in My Forged Wedding recently. I forget his name, but the uncle character, that is the exact same plot point, basically.
That's a plot point for Iori when Iori's dad is like trying to marry him off, and he's like, I already have a girlfriend.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's overused in Voltage for sure, but basically he's like, I need you to pretend to be my girlfriend. So he takes you to like these nice shops and gets you all dressed up. I enjoyed that, obviously. And so then you start going to these different functions as his girlfriend. Through that process, it made me really like Soryu too, because they're always together, and so he's kind of hanging out, and then Eisuke has this like evil plot to basically push the girl that likes him off onto Soryu. So he like has him around a lot and like talks Soryu up, and it's really funny.
But it does end up helping Soryu out too, like because of what the dad is. Soryu's in the same line of work, so
it does help out. But yeah,
Soryu's so salty about it. He was like, what? And he gets so nervous, and it's a cute thing.
He's just cute. You can see how cute, like that cute side of Soryu. Based on that, I was excited to play him after I saw that little scene.
Yeah, there's a double plot though in this story. So there's a coworker that's like involved that likes you, and
that's in this one. They're like all blurred together.
And that's the only reason why I kind of have a problem. I wish they would have done up one more or the other, because like they kind of just finesse the daughter thing so quickly. They're like, okay, happens, cool, done, over. And then like
I feel like that could have gone on. They like kind of had it reversed for me. They had the guy that you work with liking you go on for too long, and the daughter plot go on for not long enough.
Yeah,
I feel like they could have both if they switched it. But yeah, there's this guy at work who's actually cute. Wish he had a route. Like,
yeah,
low-key, Inui too, I would play.
I would play, I would. He's so adorably cute, and he always calls me princess, so I'm just like,
But But anyways, yeah, so that was kind of like weak the way that they did that, but I did really like that plot point because I haven't seen that. Maybe that is in a lot of routes. I just haven't played it where like there's another guy that actually is competing for your heart.
Yeah, and he tries to like do and make you really like happy and all this, and you kind of like start going for it, and then Eisuke's like, no.
He cuts that off real quick.
But it does follow the formula because then he cuts you off because yeah, so Soryu does the same thing, but it's more he has to basically take an L, and then he's like, he literally is like, love you, we're done, and you're just like, oh, okay, but Eisuke has to cut you off, and it's really for your own good.
Yeah,
the reason
but he's
why
like a little too harsh about it though.
The way they write it out though is kind of stupid. The reason why that he does it is to help you not get bullied, which is super like that's a dumb reason. That's a stupid reason. A good way to go about it is maybe, I don't know, not make your girlfriend work at the hotel.
Yeah, that would make way more sense.
Because it's the twins that like were bullying you, and that's why he breaks up with you.
Yeah, but I mean, also when she's working at the penthouse, she doesn't have to. Just turn that out. When she's working at the penthouse, she doesn't have to see them. So I don't know. That whole thing with her getting bullied by her coworkers, I feel like that could have been snipped out. Like I didn't need that period. But some of the things that I really liked about their romance is basically Eisuke falls in love with her because she pays attention to him, and like she actually makes an effort to see him, and she's not like, I don't know, she
doesn't really care that Eisuke is Eisuke. Like
no, she treats him like any other guy.
She's impressed because she's ever been around things, but not because it's Eisuke doing it for her. She's just trying to do her best to like not, first of all, not get killed.
Yeah.
But a lot of it, and there's times where she kind of has some like oomph to her, but like I like when she gets bold enough to like ask him to leave for more than 30 minutes. Like it sounds really bad, but because he like tells her she has to be back within 5 minutes, he gives her a break. And like I will say, it's just like the little things that she finds out about him, and then she never forces him to be vulnerable. She's like, if you don't want to tell me, then don't. And then he does.
Yeah, but he just decides to open up to her, which I really like. And like that's another thing. I feel like throughout it, like in the beginning it might seem like he's kind of, I don't know how to put it, like controlling, I guess. But I feel like, and by the end, I felt like more like he just loves her being by him.
Yeah, and he's so lonely. It's really lonely. The loneliness of it. And like, he's controlling, but like not in a overly controlling way.
No, because he does let her go on that date.
I think it's like he's really testing to see if she's gonna do it. And so like, if she defied him, it's like, well, you don't care. But she doesn't, like, every time he's like, you barely made it. She's like, oh, well, I ran. And so, like, that's where the controlling stops. It's just that he's kind of testing the waters.
Yeah, and he almost is kind of teasing her, because whenever he says that, he gets, like, the little smirk on his face. Like,
the other thing, too, that, like, sometimes, like, we have to remember, too, is, like, he definitely dropped $20 million on her.
Yeah, so like, if he wants her there,
she better be there. But it doesn't excuse what Ota did. Like,
no, never.
Just want everybody to know that we're not condoning what Ota did. He just is a genuinely good person deep down. Like, what he's doing is trying to do good things.
Yeah, and he cares about people, and yeah, he's looking for should we say it or no? We won't say what it is, but basically there's a reason that he has the auctions, and it's a good reason. And yeah, I mean, I really believed their romance. I thought the MC was pretty decent in it.
Yeah, and I do love that they make his personality is so to a T that the way he breaks up with her, it's so clear that that's not what he wants to do, and I do really like that in the plot.
His personality is clear, unlike Ota's. Okay.
Soryu's actually a good friend in this one too, because he like randomly finds her on the streets of Tokyo, and he's like, does Eisuke really seem like the type to do that? It's like, Soryu, you care.
I know, I love Soryu in this one. That's why I was so excited to play him after I played
And then the girl calls him, and he's like, I gotta go.
Yeah, that was. I just like loved the banter among members in this one. I thought it was a good route.
I love Eisuke in other routes too, especially because animals don't like Eisuke.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that happens in his route too. Like, Eisuke loves animals, obviously, like, him being lonely too.
And, like, the dog, like, hates him.
Yeah, but all animals hate him instantly. It's just adorable. Okay, so for his ranking. Okay, so for his personality, we gave him an 8 out of 10. We both really liked his personality. He was commanding yet teasing. Like, he's kind of like the Ichigo type, which is our favorite Voltage guy. Romance, 8 out of 10. I would have ranked it higher in romance, but I get why she wanted to do 8.
I just think that there just could have been a little bit more key moments for them that they don't, and I wish
I did want more. I will say that.
Yeah, I wanted more out of it. So.
I loved the little, like, how she makes his coffee. That was like my favorite romantic scene or whatever.
Yeah.
His character development, we actually gave a 9 out of 10 because we just feel like he really changed and grew, and he just became a better person than he already was. And then for the main character, we gave her a 7 out of 10. She was just like basic, a little bit better than average. Quality of writing, also a 7 out of 10. So he actually ties with Soryu. They both got a C+, 47 out of 60.
Yeah, we just decided though as like an executive team decision that Eisuke was like slightly better, just because I think that
I think popularity wise it kind of shows,
and that's what we just kind of factored in. We like Soryu a lot, and if it would have been like where he's a little bit more,
I think his plot's a little bit better.
Yeah, we felt like the plot is definitely better in Soryu's, but we feel like I would say that
Eisuke's like a better like I know you think, I mean, Soryu is a good person, but he still kills people. Like
I just think
you're like, that's neither here nor there.
If you were to honestly, I would say Eisuke just like the draw to the story is better for Eisuke than it is Soryu, to be fair. Like, I like Soryu's
it makes
plot
the
way
most
more.
sense.
Yeah, it just makes more sense. He's the more sensible, so that's why we decided that Eisuke would be number 2.
But this next one may not seem like it makes sense, but he is, without a doubt, the best character in this game.
Number 1, and it is the
Mad Hatter, Riohn. He is literally perfect. He makes the most sense, even more sense than Eisuke when it comes to why he would buy her. I just can't even, like, I feel like so many people probably haven't even played this route, but you need to. If you're interested in this game, you need to play his route. It
doesn't fit the formula. He came from one of the party version of Kissed by the Baddest Bidder, so I never ever played that game, so I don't know if any of you have.
But he's still season 1. They do an alternate plot. It's almost the same, but they kind of fix a few plot holes, to be honest.
Yeah, so they do the same kind of prologue, but this way he actually sees you break the expensive item. The prologue, the only thing that bothers me about the prologue, I will say in this one, is that like so the one thing I can say first, like, is that it's your very first day at Trace Space.
Yeah, that they change it to where it's your very first day on the job. So that makes more sense to why you'd get lost.
Yeah, so then there's a mask that's dropped. So then this is when you run into Baba. You already run into the two.
This part, I already know what you're going to say.
Oh, God. So he calls you Alice, which is so annoying. And then you pick up this mask, and then you go behind these doors and find the secret elevator. Cool, whatever. Again, they don't confirm that you're still wearing your maid outfit, but then they do like 2 seconds later. And then you ask these random guests, like, hey, is this your mask? And they're like, no, because everybody has masks on. And you're like, okay. And then she just keeps going, like, girl, it's nobody's mask. And then you're clearly a maid staff. Nobody comments on it.
Yeah, no one comments on the fact that she's in her maid uniform. That's what was like.
So,
but anyway, he's the one who finds you breaking the statue of Venus, I think it is, or vase. I don't remember exactly, but
I think it's the vase. Yeah, you're right.
The vase that she breaks, and he's like, well, why don't you just put her up for auction? And then they're like, okay. So then that basically solves that. And he ends up being the one to buy you, which makes sense because he is the auctioneer and he sees all of these items come in every single time. And he has actually kept a lot for himself because he's super into like trinkets and stuff.
Yeah.
And like the deep reason why he bought you that comes later, it makes even more sense. But yeah, he's the one who ends up buying you.
Yeah, he buys you and then he says like, I've been waiting, because they call him Hatter, Mad Hatter. Then he's like, I've been waiting for you, Alice. So he brings you into like...
He wants you to play Alice. That makes perfect sense, right?
Yeah, so then like, you're like, no way, I can't do this. And then you're like, he's like, that's too bad. And then you're like, okay.
Yeah, MC has a lot more like initial fight.
She's like, you, and the things like with the choices in this one, you can choose to like disagree.
Yeah, it's not like yeah or okay. It's like yes or no.
Like, I'm not doing that. And like, so then you go into what would be the Mad Hatter Tea Party. So if you've ever seen Alice in Wonderland, like they have that little moment where they're like, a very merry on birthday to me, to you. Like that's basically
and he has like the little other animals. He has a Cheshire cat. But basically there's this secret room that looks like that tea party scene. And he is the guest that lives in that room. And like there's kind of rumors about it through the hotel, but none of the other staff knows where it is. And he stays there and then works at the auction as the auctioneer, and that's it. He never goes outside, and he basically lives his life as the Mad Hatter.
And so you have your own complete room. So it's not like you guys are having to stay in the same room.
It's almost like a house, to be honest. But yeah.
And so what happens is that you come out and then he has you throw like a tea party with the guys there. Well, then it's sad because something really bad happens. Like something kind of shady happens to him. And then this is where I also like Eisuke's personality. I like actually all the guys in personality other than Ota's in this one. because they all really like look out for Riohn. Like he's
even Mamo. Like, yeah.
Mamo looks out for you because you're like Mad Hatter's kind of not with going outside, but they tell him like you can't keep her indoors like this. She'll go stir crazy. So he's like, okay, leave, just don't leave the hotel.
And so, Mamo like is the one that takes you around and like gets you sunlight.
Yeah, so he's not like super forceful about anything, but then like the other animals betray him. And it's like weird to say animals, but it's like the two other guys.
Yeah, the two other guys that are playing animals,
they betray him, and so this is where
that's really sad.
I think her personality really shines out because Riohn like invites these guys there to interview more of them.
Yeah, from Craigslist.
Yeah, and so she goes to protect him, and like he really is open with her and very direct about things to her when he's in this costume, and he doesn't lie to her about pretty much anything. And so she starts to like get to know him and like makes food for him, and they get to just talk, all the time because they have nothing. And then he brings her into her room to show him all her treasures, and she literally says it. She's like, yeah, this is a little weird. It's a little crazy, but she does agree not to leave him. And it's at first out of fear. Because she's just like, I don't know what you're going to do to me. And then Sodi's like, well, we'll kill you. Like, what do you mean what are we going to do to you? So.
And that's why, like, I don't know. But Eisuke, basically, he comes in and he tells her, like, to watch out for him. And that's, like, why Eisuke's personality really shines in this route, in my opinion. Almost even more so than in his own route. And
then Hatter says that you're going to join him for the auctions. And it's actually pretty cool how they write it in, is that he shows you by making you describe things in his room so that you can also do it. So. What ends up like it's like really hard not to spoil this, but what ends up happening is when you run into somebody that he knows and stuff, he like freezes up on stage and you come and save him, and it's because you've already known what to do. And little by little he starts to like, you run into him without makeup, and it's pretty cute because he's such an adorable CG character. It's so cute.
Yeah, so as soon as you run into him without the makeup, and you know it's him because there's nobody else that lives down there, like it's just you and him. And then the next day when you confront him about it, he's like, no, that must be my friend. And so you basically go along with it because you can tell he's afraid to reveal himself. And then you basically ask if like you can be friends with his friend Riohn, even though that's him. And like it's just kind of cute how they end up opening up, and then
how much he trusts you, because then he starts being Riohn most of the time. Only at the auctions does he dress up again, and then if it was formula, he would have like left you. But what ends up, I'm like,
that never happens. What?
No.
Or okay.
You run into
somebody that's important to the plot.
Yeah, so it's like important to the plot, but after you guys play a poker game and he wins you against the other guys because the other guys say, I'll take her from you, and
which by the way, I hate Ota in that scene.
Eisuke basically knows that Riohn's gonna win, and the thing that I love is that they have this like really long standing friendship. And so he's like, no, but he'll win. And then he like clears the table with like wipes the guys off the table. And then he's like, let's go back together. And you're like been waiting for it. And it is actually a really, really sad moment because when she runs into that important person, she wants Riohn to say no to going outside. Remember?
Yeah, that she never wanted to go up and play poker because she had run into this important person previously.
Who wants to take Riohn from her.
Yes. And she knows that. And so she's like, well, and she's trying to decide if she should tell Riohn about the situation or whatever, or tell this other person about Riohn. And she decides the way she's going to do it is she's going to invite Riohn to come upstairs with her. And if he agrees, then he's ready to go. Yeah. And if not, then they can stay down there together forever. But he agrees to go with her.
Because she wishes that she was secretly hoping he didn't. And so then they're going back to his room, like the room. And then the person like confronts him. And then he tells her like, it's been fun for you playing Alice. And then,
but I gotta grow up now.
I gotta grow up. And then she finds out who the original Alice was, which I think is the cutest plot, like the best plot point. When I say I didn't expect anything in this story to happen, it's insane. Like
I didn't expect a
corner after corner. I was like,
thing.
What?
A single thing. You think you know what's gonna happen, and you don't.
And so then when they like,
when they find out about the original Alice, like, you actually get to hear his entire backstory, which makes it so much stronger because it makes every motive make complete sense. Like,
and their romance is just amazing. How they
oh,
love
and there's
each other.
different music in this one, and it's so much better than the original game music.
And I want to say every cute moment they have together is so adorably like just on par for what's going on, and it's like I love it. The reason why she loves him, because I know people like it's kind of Stockholm syndrome, but I'm like no, they genuinely care about each other.
Yeah, I feel like they have a really real bond. I loved it so.
There's no way
much.
that he couldn't be number one.
There's like nothing wrong at all. Like,
there's not. There's like I will say when you're playing the music abruptly stops like randomly. Like Kayla was not with it. She was like,
oh yeah, that was one thing because the music was so good, and then there would just be so many blank areas.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one's also a little different. I think we didn't mention this yet, but basically there's 3 endings instead of 2.
Yeah.
But
I will say 2 of them are pretty much this, like, it just one is a CG and like one isn't.
Yeah. Instead of good and happy, like normally there's good and happy and they're both different, and happy usually has a CG. And this one there's good, happy, and secret. And I got happy, which would normally be the one with the CG, but it didn't have it. And then I went back and played secret, and that was the exact same with the CG. So
it's like
I don't know.
I didn't get good. I don't want to know what good is. I don't really care.
I feel like we're like, I don't know why, but I just feel like we can't even convey to you how good this route is. I don't know that we're even doing it justice, but you have to play it because we don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, definitely. Please play it, and please let us know in the comments. Like, come back to this video and then comment below and be like, I know what you're talking about now. But I do know we basically gave him 9.
We didn't like write it down anywhere.
We did give Romance a 10 out of 10. I know.
10 out of 10 on Romance. I feel like he deserves 10s, but like
I think the only one that I think we gave was like because overall the writing, everything was great.
The writing was actually blew everything I've ever seen.
I think we gave
out
him
of the
10
water.
Across the board because everything.
Yeah,
was
what could
so
there even
amazing.
be a 9 on? I don't even know.
Other than like the music comment, and that's it. But it's like that's not
his fault. Yeah, I mean, character development was perfect. Everything was perfect. MC was perfect.
Yeah, so I'm saying 10 out of 10. 10
yeah,
like 60 out of 60. He's number 1.
A plus, 100%. Yeah,
that's it. Well,
wow.
This is a pretty long...
has become extremely lengthy. I'm probably gonna try and edit it down, but we've been filming for over an hour.
So
we're probably gonna cut it off here. But I mean, is there anything we want to say overall about the game, and like, what would we rate the game overall? Kissed by the Baddest Bidder.
I would probably give it like a 7 out of 10. There's a lot of plot holes that happen between the prologue and there. Ota's character really just drags it on down.
I think for the casual player, I can see why people like it.
Yeah, I can see why it's super
ranking
popular.
The games though, I don't really see why it's some people's favorite. I mean, I don't know. Playing Riohn's, I could see why that would be something. Like, that's one of my favorite characters I've ever played.
I would give it a 7 out of 10 though, because there's a lot of formulaic things that happen, so it gets really predictable. I think some of the characters' routes, you're just like, I'm pretty sure I know what's going to happen. So I would not suggest playing it like we did, where you just play a character after character after character. I would give it like space.
Yeah, because it's not going to feel formulaic if you just play one character, right?
At a time, yeah.
But
like just wait.
80% of the characters have the exact same formula. They just like switch out what exactly the things are.
So for that, I would definitely, do 7 out of 10. But
yeah,
you might feel different. You might love this game. It's not my favorite game though. It never will be. I will say that.
Yeah, and even though the MC is really good and like Riohn's route and Eisuke's route, she's pretty good. I just feel like in general, I don't know, it doesn't really make sense. Like, what is her motives for working at Trace Spades? Like, why does she want to be a maid so bad? Like, it doesn't really make sense.
I really wish she just had more goals in some of the routes, so.
Hey guys, it's Kayla from the future here. I just wanted to give a few notes and kind of review the Switch version of the game, since that's the version that I played most of the routes on. All but the Mad Hatter was available, pretty much all of Season 1 aside from him. I was really hesitant to purchase it because it seems like it's overpriced, considering you would just be getting the Five Guys main story. And on the phone, Eisuke's is actually free, so it seems like you're getting ripped off. But once I downloaded it, I actually understood why the price point was where it was. And it actually saves you hundreds of dollars if you were really going to buy as many stories as are included on the Switch version of the game. But before I get into that, I'll just say a couple of other reasons why the Switch version I highly prefer. I hope that Voltage releases more of their games onto the Switch. I would definitely purchase all of them. First of all, the graphics are so much smoother, so much cleaner, and of course, you get that feel like back when they were individual apps, because the theming, including the text boxes and choice boxes and menu screens, are all completely themed to the game that you're playing. It's not generic and you don't have to flip through all of these different titles. It's not spammy, there's no ads. It's very clean and crisp. The colors are very vivid and bright. None of the backgrounds look blurry. It's really quite gorgeously done. And of course it can be played offline, which is a plus. And I think maybe the biggest selling point of this game for the Switch is the fact that for $22, I think I did get this on a sale, I think normally it's $27, but still, you get, I believe, 13 stories for every single guy. So that's going to be the epilogue, season 2, like engagement, a whole bunch of stories. Like I have not even played through all of them. So here I'll actually pull up the contents. I can't remember exactly which stories, but it says here, collection of main stories spanning the series up until the proposal epilogue for Eisuke Ichinomiya, Soryu-o, Mitsunari Baba, Ota Kisaki, and Mamoru Kishi, which it's true. It's like every little story, every epilogue, his point of view, any kind of story you can imagine up until that point is included. And it just wasn't very clear to me when I was purchasing it for some reason, even though it does say that here in the description. I just didn't quite understand how many stories that was. Like, if you're multiplying that by 5 guys, I mean, I want to say that's like 70-ish stories, which is a huge savings. You could literally, if you were going to buy all of that on the mobile version, you can buy yourself 2 Nintendo Switches and this game on both of those Switches for the amount of money that you're saving. It almost boggles my mind. So yeah, I'll definitely be purchasing more Voltage's games on the Switch and playing them there. It's just a lot better experience in my opinion, so I highly recommend their games on the Nintendo eShop. But yeah, before we close out, there were a couple of positive notes about the game that we forgot to mention that we were definitely meaning to, and that was the amount of backgrounds and side characters that Voltage did get art inked for. Each story has a collection of side characters, and even the prologue, there's lots of different maids that you work with that are sketched in. And the backgrounds have a lot of details, like a room with the door closed and open, or the window closed and open, lots of different viewpoints around the hotel. They definitely spent a lot of money on that for this game, and we can definitely appreciate that, especially being Otome game makers ourselves. We know how expensive it is to get every single side character and background made. But yeah, that's Kissed by the Baddest Bidder, the good, bad, and ugly, and I will just head back to us in this video signing off. I hope you guys have a great week. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Kissed by the Baddest Bidder. I was surprised. I thought we would hate the game, and we didn't completely hate it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let us know your thoughts below if you've played it, if you're planning to. And that's it for this video.
Bye. For our number 5 guy, though, is...
4.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I can count. So,
yeah. I mean...
I'm out here trying to bunch.
Why did I see that coming? I shouldn't have, but I did.